So we have a few texts we normally memorize. Daniel 8, verse 14. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Exodus 25, verse 8. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them. Psalm 77, verse 13. Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary, and who is so great a God as our God? Wonderful. So we identify that there's a heavenly sanctuary. There was an earthly sanctuary built by Moses that's done away with, and the body is also a sanctuary. And just like how the earthly sanctuary was cleansed, this body needs to be cleansed. Hence, God is trying to give us a diet and carry us through a system in which He can cleanse us mentally, physically, and spiritually. So before we proceed, let us do a revision. So this is in a miniature way. This is like a medical missionary training. Disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me and say Brother Shaw say, and you use this and you use that and you blame it on Brother Shaw, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm just trying to do my best in giving you information from Bible, spirit of prophecy, true science, history, and common sense. Okay? So at the end of the day, you have to make your decision. We have a book that we use, Natural Remedy Encyclopedia, very good book, wonderful herbs. Also, we have the Ministry of Healing. Everyone have one? Okay, very good book. And there are more books that were written by Helen G. White. Counsels on Diet and Food, Counsels on Health, Temperance, Christian Temperance and Bible Hygiene. Yeah, if I'm missing any, you can help me out, but they're good, very good information. Also, we have this very big collection here. Those who are doctors, they went through, this book is very heavy, probably weigh about 20 pounds. So it's anatomy and physiology. You're more than 20 pounds. So it's a very good book. What it teaches about is the body and the body function. It's good to know about your body. If you want to know about me, don't ask somebody about me. Because a person can tell you something about me. It can be true and it can be false. So it's best to come to hear from the horse's mouth. Hear from me. And that's the principle we use in studying the Bible also. If you want to know something about the Bible, ask who? The Bible. The Bible explains itself. And this is why we have so much confusion in the world today, because everyone wants to explain the Bible and not want to ask the Bible what the Bible is saying. So if you want to know about your body, ask your body. And the body talk to you, yes. You wake up, sometimes you wake up in the morning and your body is telling you something. You got to know your body. So God made apples, but He did not make one type of apple. Because anyone know what type of apple is this? American apple, but there are different brands of American apple. No, this is not Red Delicious. Gala. Every apple I buy, if you want to give me apple, make sure it's Gala. I just don't like the other apples. It's just, anywhere I go, it's just Gala I buy. Well, we have the Jamaican apple. There's an apple in Jamaica, they call it? Otaheite. Yeah. You like Golden Delicious. And guess what? Nothing is wrong. God make us with different tastes, different likes. Just imagine if God make only black and white. Oh my, it would be boring. Yes, but guess what? You will not like it. Probably I will not like it. She have black, white, red. You have black and white. I guess you like black and white. You have gray. All right? You have colors. So God make varieties. A wonderful God, isn't He? All right, so in our study, we talk about the laws. And there are 3 laws we focus on. We have the spiritual law, which is the moral law, which is the 10 Commandments. We have the mental law, which is a law that controls the mind. And one of those laws is by beholding you become. You cannot become greater than what you think. If you think you're poor, you're going to be poor. All right. So there's a physical law now. I think next week or probably a week after next, we're going to look more on the physical law. The physical law have to do with exercise, rest, and different principles. And all of these laws, once you break them, there's a consequence. Sin is a transgression of God's law. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter even if you never know. That's just, the rule is, see 4 cars here? Which side are they driving on? They're driving on the right side. But if you, this is in Canada, if you go to Jamaica, they drive on the wrong side. They drive on the left side. So guess what now? When I came to Canada, I have to adjust my mental law. Because my mental for over 23 years driving in Jamaica is on the right side. Left side. The right side, which is the left side. So, you know what my instructor told me? Is call it intelligent embarrassment. He said in Jamaica, you guys don't drive polite. We don't drive polite. And he always telling me, it's a way of probably trying to put me down. But, you know, when I think about it, it's true. You know why I say that? When you come to the stop sign in Canada here, I notice, don't matter who reach first, anyone come after, wait. It's just a principle I notice with them. I have to give them the credit, okay? But in Jamaica, most person, if you can drive in Jamaica, you can drive anywhere. Anywhere. All right? So I have to adjust my mental law. All right, and next thing again. In Jamaica, you know what they told me at school? Because I spent 1 month in driving school. I don't blow the horn. The truck horn, I don't blow it up here. And you know what they told me? We blow the horn in Jamaica like 30 times for the day. In Canada, if they blow the horn for 10 times in the year, it's too much. Yeah. Really. Only way I blow a horn here is if I see a Jamaican and give them the or in the pandemic when the truckers convoy, I saw persons on the bridge. Can you catch? It's for him. Very good, that's yours. So I was blowing the horn to, you know, they normally to in the convoy with the vaccine and everything. So I'm happy for it because I get the chance to blow my horn. Because in Jamaica, I'm used to blowing horn. Because in Jamaica, it's very small, going up Mount Ross, so there's corners, and every corner, you know, Tracy, you have to blow your horn, even the car, horn. And that is why sometimes I think we are deaf. All right? So the laws are very important. You have to know to address where you go. Yes. Because we were ruling under the British, so that's why we drive on that side, because we are from the British. Very good. Probably they gain better independence than us. Canada is not America. All right, so revision, we're still on revision. So what we look on first is the cells. And we say that the body consists of about 100 trillion cells. It's more, okay? And all of these cells, if you see how sometimes we live negative against each other. Just imagine if these cells should live negative against each other. They have to unite. So these cells are made up of what we call molecules. And the molecules are made up of what we call atoms. So atom is like one. But when it becomes 2 atoms, it now becomes a molecule. So once it is single, it's an atom. Once you get 2 atoms now, it becomes a molecule, and then molecules come together and we have cells. We don't want to go down into the molecule atoms. When we go here, we're going in deep waters. Well, we're going in serious deep chemistry taking place, okay? So don't worry about that. We're just sticking basic. So the cells are very important. So yeah, let me ask you, what you remember about the cell? Anyone? What you learned thus far about the cell to your memory? Of the A cells, of the O cells. Anything more? Mother cell, daughter cell. Now, I gave you that in a layman term. Phil, you mentioned something? Anyone else on the cells? Very good. The center of the cell is called the nucleus. So when I gave you the term mother cell, is that cells live for a portion of time. Every cell have different proportion of how they live. So the body change about 1 billion cells every day. The cells that do their work, they die, but before they die, a replica is produced from the nucleus, which is where you find the DNA. So it is a splitting image of the original. And as I told you, the sanctuary that God built is to restore God's image in us. And for that to be restored, you have to behold it. So by beholding, you become changed. So this mother produced a daughter cell. So if this mother is a corrupt mother, it's going to produce a corrupt daughter. And this corrupt daughter is going to become a corrupt mother, producing a, and the story continues. Can it break? Yes. And this is what we call genetics. Genetics. So genetics, load the gun. Lifestyle, pull the trigger. I don't know if you get that analogy. Genetics, load the gun. Lifestyle, pull the trigger. So, not because you're mother of diabetes, yes, the genetics is going to say you are going to have what? Diabetes. But the lifestyle can change it. So the lifestyle, so don't tell me about it's in your genes or your cardiac. It can change. You don't have to pull the trigger with the lifestyle. So many issues we have with our body is lifestyle issues. Lifestyle issues. I wonder, and you don't need a rocket science to think about this. That's common sense. So insanity is what? Anyone know what is insanity? I don't think that's what the world is doing over the years. Doing the same thing over and over again and expect to get a what? But they are still getting the same result. So if you want to get different results, you have to do? Very good. Yeah. So we have to do a change here. So it can change. So these cells come together and all right, so types of cells. We have bone cells, we have smooth muscle cells, we have the neurons, which are cells, and the body, neurons, which is same cell. So we can draw a neuron. Yeah, that's the nervous system. That's what we're really going to look into today. All right, so the neuron, like of a tail, and it's something like that, you know? Just trying to put something here. So neurons are like the current. You carry current, okay? Very good. She's reflex. So what, Phil, can you turn one of the light on for me? The main one, anyone? Off. No, give me a more darker place. On. How long did that light take to come on? No, less than a second. Less than a second. So we have, go again, Phil. No, on. Off. That's less than a second, Tracy. Less than a second. On back. Thank you. Or a body move faster than that. Can you imagine that? And angels move faster than that. So, one preacher was preaching, and when the three Hebrew boys were in the fire, when Nebuchadnezzar said he's going to throw them in the fire, so God said to one of his angels, yes, Berkey. That's the story I'm going to now. And Jesus even moved faster. All right? So, God said to one of the angels, how long can you take? It's take me probably 5 minutes to get down there. Then he go to another angel, because we have angel in ranks. How long? He say, might take me 2 minutes. Then he go to Gabriel, because Gabriel is the next highest angel. That's Satan lose that position. And Gabriel say, probably a second. All right. And God said, no, these guys are going to die. So he go to his son. He said, Jesus, how long? Jesus said, Dad, I'm there. He's there. Yeah. So I showed this. What's the first thing work for her when she catch this? No? Think a brain? Nisha, what's the first thing? But what's the first thing? Her eyes. If she was blind, she could not see it. So guess what now? Her eyes saw it, tell her brain that it is coming. So it's a message going in. The brain have to think fast what to do. The brain say, move the foot. No. The brain say, move your hand. And she catch it. So quick. Even quicker than a light. God is awesome, brethren. How can you not believe in God if you believe in this body? So, this is what I'm trying to say to you. You have math sense. 2 times 2 equal 4. That's math sense, yes. Very good. Very good. Wonderful. All right? So, we're going to look into that. All right, moving on. So, we have chemistry sense and we have common sense. So all of them are important, okay? You have to know what to use, when to use. So we talk about the different type of cells. Then we talk about the tissues. We talked last week about the connective tissues. We have the muscle tissues. We have the epithelial tissue, and we have the nervous tissue. So what happened? All the cells that deal with, we have muscle cells. So all the muscle cells come together and make the muscle tissue. All the neurons cell come together and make the nervous tissue. All right? And all of these are important. Then we have the different organs, the heart, the lungs, and all of these, their function and have their different purpose. Then we have the organ system. 1, integumentary, 2, skeletal, 3, muscular, 4, nervous, 5, endocrine, 6, cardiovascular, 7, lymphatic, 8, respiratory, 9, digestive, 10, urinary, and 11, reproductive. The one we're going to look on today is the nervous system. Why we want to look on that? Because of all the system, for me personally, I think it's the most important because all the other system, just imagine everyone doing their own thing. You need somebody to control everyone. Isn't that so? Yes. So the system that controls all the system is the nervous system. So it just blows my brain sometimes when I think about it. That God is just good. Based on the Bible text. Let us go there. Psalms 100 and anyone remember that text? Psalms 139 verse 14. Psalms 139 verse 14. Yes, you find it? Anyone find it? 139 verse 14. Okay, so we have the roving mic. So very good. So we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So this body, to take care of this body, we become stewards. Most of the time when we talk about stewardship, most of the time the emphasis is on money. Okay? Stewardship is not just about money. It's about a treasure, the talent, the body. So if we don't, God gave us this body to take care of it. And if we don't take care of it, God is going to charge us. So if you want the best from your body, you got to do the best. Don't if you cheat your body, you're going to feel it. So to take care of this body, we have this system we call 4S, sickness, source, symptoms, and solution. So the first S is sickness, which is disease. So we have all type of disease, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, all different type of diseases. When we have the disease, we need to find out what's the source. Are they? Cause. But how are we going to know that we have a sickness? We look for the symptoms, which are the vitals. Lenny is going to give us a tip on this. The temperature, the pulse, the respiration, the blood pressure, and the blood sugar. And with all of these now, we need a solution, which is the treatment. So the solution is A, the laws of health. So we get sick because we violate one of the laws. Sickness does not come without a cause. Cause and effect. Hydrotherapy is very good. You know about hydrotherapy, water treatment? Yes, very good. Hydrotherapy? So hydro is water, therapy is treatment. So they call it water treatment. So let me give you an example. When you have fever, normally when you have fever and you go to the doctor, what they do? Medication, but normally there's the next thing they do. So anyone remember? They take you to the bathroom and take your clothes off and just use the water. So what the water do, Tracy, is that because your body is so high with heat, the water is going to take away the heat. Water carry heat. So in your vehicle, you have a thing in your vehicle they call a radiator. And you have a water pump. Because your vehicle is driving. Do you know that in that vehicle, in the cylinder, is fire? It's literally fire taking place there. It's hot if you touch the engine, don't? So it has to be at a temperature that is controlled. If sometimes you wonder you have a headache, when you have a headache, your temperature is too high. It gets hot. And if the car engine, the car have a head, you know that? It have a engine block, and on top of that, it have a head. And if the temperature is too high, the head can burst. Yeah, the car was made of us. You have the head gasket. Head gasket damage, and if it get too serious, the head itself will burst. Because it is made to stay at a certain temperature. Like in the truck I drive, it go up to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. That's very hot. And that's how it's made to run. If I go 300, it's going to blow the engine up. It's too hot. It depends on the weight. Things can cause it to go up. All right? So in the car, they have the water circulate. Have a question? Okay. So in the car, the water circulate. And it go around and come back around. But the water go through a thing they call the radiator. What the radiator is at the front of your vehicle. The radiator have a fan there. So when the water go around, what type of water leave the radiator? And what type of water come back to the radiator? Because the cold water go through the engine and take the heat from the engine and come back to the radiator cool it down and cap it back and keep it at a temperature. That's why in that car, they have a thermostat to control the temperature. In our body, there's a thermostat. God make us with that thing they call homeostasis. These cells, every single cell is like a factory that I just explained to you, operating. And if these cells run too hot, you're in trouble. If the cells run too cold, you're in trouble. That is why we must not drink cold stuff. Ice water. When you drink ice water, what you do to your body, you cause the body to try to get that water at a certain temperature to go through the body. So you put your body under pressure to eat it up. If it is too warm, your body has to get it back at that temperature.
So why is it like when you're in a very hot temperature and you drink something cool, your body just rejoices?
You think your body rejoices. It doesn't rejoice. You put your body under shock. And that is why living in this temperature is not easy to do. It's not easy to live in this temperature, and God did not build this temperature for us. The temperature that God built in the garden, they never have clothes on. It was it was not too hot, and it was not this cold. This is because of sin we have this temperature. So we are here warm now. You have to try to keep your body, and sometimes it affects me. Driving in the warm truck, I keep myself warm. I have to go out in the snow, minus 40. I can't keep myself. In the truck, I am at, my temperature in the truck might be like probably 36. No, not 36, probably 24. Probably 24. And I can't keep my body at 24 heat outside. So it's not easy to combat the temperature out there. So what water do now, Tracy, for example now, the cells love to be warm. And that is why the way I dress now, I never used to dress like this. And when I got this message, the health message, that perfect health, and this is from Ministry of Healing. It's in Ministry of Healing here. I tell you, this book is very good. Perfect health is dependent upon perfect circulation. Repeat in the head again. Repetition, deep impression. Perfect health is dependent upon perfect circulation. All right, go again. Perfect health is dependent upon? You see Onisha dress? I wish she could keep it that way. She's properly clothed. So what happened? If I have a short sleeve on now, my extremities, and having a short pants, my extremities will be exposed. So where my clothes is, my body is warm. So when the blood comes down at the ear, it's going to become cold. So the blood becomes poisonous. It affects the body. It's hard to keep. So perfect health is dependent upon perfect circulation. So when the heart pumps the blood, it should go where it go, do its work, and come back around without hindrance. All right? So not dressing properly can affect our health. All right. That's food for thought. Room temperature, yes. Not hot tea, warm tea. Prohibited. Ministry of Healing? Leon, give her one for me, please. Yes, that's yours. So, it's hard to combat the climate in Canada, I'm telling you. It's just simply in Jamaica. I remember going in my truck and all my waters are freeze. Freeze, ice, tough. So I'm living in worse than a fridge. So what I have to do now, because I can't drink cold water, and it's going to affect your throat, especially those who sing. I got this cup as a gift from SGT, my company. So it keeps things warm. So like now I try to drink warm, make sure the water is at a certain temperature, because if it's too cold, it's going to affect my throat. Warm water, it's warm. So I give my body less stress now. And Sister Ingrid bear my witness. I get the kettle from her, and I put 2 bottles of water in it, warm it, and this is just refreshing. What I did now, I drop a little peppermint in it, just to, help me out with my throat here. Yes, this keep warm. So I'm gonna get a kettle in my truck and just keep drinking my warm water. Yes, you can add a little lemon to it also. Yeah. So like in the morning, 'cause it's good to drink something warm when you wake up. First thing before you eat food. So I have some salt. You can use the Himalayan salt or the Celtic salt. Very good. With some lemon. I buy the lemon, the real lemon, and juice it with a cup of warm water and drink it in the morning. Very good. Come in, my sister first. I don't know about that chemistry. It could be true. I don't know about, but it could be true. I don't know. So, so what the water do for me now? The salt with the lemon, it help cleanse your system. Okay, and you get vitamin C from it. So, and it's very nutritious. Okay, it's very nutritious. Yes, cucumber. All right, why you have to drink something warm in the morning? So, in the night you're sleeping, it's like you're giving the body a wake, the system to bring it alive, Give it, make it become, because you're sleeping there, everything is just resting. Because while you're sleeping, the body should really be resting. So you cannot give the body a wake. So,
I think you don't want to shock your system either.
okay.
Like your intestine, your stomach, you don't want to shock it. So if you put like temperature water, like the temperature they think is inside, it more
To build it up also. That's right. All right.
it's good for circulation as well.
Yes, it's good for circulation also. That's right. Yes. All right. So the cell here, the cell is like a factory operating. So what hydrotherapy do, Tracy? What hydrotherapy do? So for example, you have a pain here. Blood love to be warm. Blood love to be warm. You know, when the cold, they try to cover up. Love warm. That's it. You know that. So if you put something cold here, what do you think is going to happen? So you get a cold pack, ice pack, and put right here. All the blood is going to do what? Come right here to warm it up. Yes, because the blood, this is a cold spot, so everybody, hey, we got to work. So it sends a signal, everyone come right here. So what they do now, when you get the warm one now and put here, all the blood still come because it is warm and stay here. So you, for hydrotherapy treatment, you do like 3 warm, 3 cold as you can bear it, as warm as you can bear it. So, yeah, what's the word? Interchangeable. So you put like 3 minutes hot, then 3 minutes cold. All right? So before we go any further, Lenny's is going to, all right, let me give her a breathe. Let her breathe, okay? All right, so while she's breathing, so what I said about the cell now, the cell is like a factory. So we have in, let, out, let. What the cell is working to do is to give us energy. That's the whole purpose of every cell. And for the cell to give us energy, it needs a lot of things. You need nutrients, you need a lot of things to create. It's like a power plant to create this energy. You know, sometimes you wake up and you feel weak. It's a sign that you're lacking of something. All right. When you don't have that drive as a married person, it's a sign that you can be sick. You can read between the line. Dean, what type of drive? All right. All right. When you don't have that drive to eat, you know when you're sick, you don't want to eat. All right. So you can read your body. You know that something is wrong. Isn't that so? Yeah, you can read the body. So when you don't have that energy, sometimes I wake up in the morning. If I was working for myself, I wouldn't go nowhere. I'm so tired. Guess what? This spot say I have to reach 5 o'clock. Yeah, and sad to say, I had to breach a system. The truck, these Virgin, you are so controlled here, you don't even know it. We're fully computerized in the truck. Yes, I'm not saying anything wrong. So you're fully computerized. So if you should go over, the computer will know, okay? So because you want to reach for your delivery at a certain time, and if you end up breach the system, it put you in jeopardy. So it's hectic. It's circadian rhythm. Remember that word? Circadian rhythm. The system here and the system in the world did not make, while the system was making, did not consider God people. Let me get it to you now. When you go to work someplace, you can't get the Sabbath off. They're not thinking about you. I was talking to a friend, a church brother of mine, and I don't know if this happened to you, Dean, but I told him I hit 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Based on my job, I can do that. Based on his job, it's very difficult. You know why? They give him break at 10 o'clock, 15 minutes. He take a quick bite. Then he get break at 2 o'clock again. So you get 2:15, 1 half-hour break. That's not good for him. And he have to chew fast to go back. That's not healthy. So when they are making the system, when they are putting the system together, they don't think about the mental law, the physical law, and the spiritual law. And for those who drive like Berkey, like myself, it's a mental thing to drive out there. Even though you drive cars, it's still mental. But it's more mental to drive those big units. I have to be using my left hand on the steering. I use my right hand on the gear stick. I use 1 feet on the gas pedal, another one on the clutch. I'm looking in the both mirrors at the same time, and I might be probably trying to listen to the engine. You see what that means? I have to be mentally conscious. So if you call me and tell me that somebody died close to me, you might affect me. No, I'm telling you. You got to tell me, Brother Shaw, pull off the road for a minute. Yeah. And don't try, bring the news in a way that it doesn't really, you know? Yes, because it's mental. And these workplace, brethren, many person, I know a friend, they retire. They don't want to retire, but they have to retire. You know why? The work is affecting her mentally. All right, so Lenny is going to give us a few tips on vitals. Then we move on.
Hello, everyone. I just realized that there's someone that is probably, better than this than me. What's her name again? Rosemary knows a lot about health, so you can always talk to her. But again, we're going to talk about vital signs. And what are is it 4? Where are they? So temperature, pulse, respiration, blood pressure, blood sugar. That's not really one, but that's one of the things that we can check too. Yes, very important. So vital signs help to assess your well-being. So your vital sign measures your body's basic function. So vitals display a snapshot of what's going on the inside of your body. They provide crucial information about your organs. So what do you think that your heart rate will tell you? So what would you find out about your heart rate to know if it's good or bad? Heart rate. So what are the normal? So what's so like 60 to 100, so that would be normal. So if you're athletic, then it would be 50, 60. If it's too high, it would be 100. So you want to stay between the 60 and the 100. And maybe I don't know. Your heart rate, it should always stay there. If it's too fast, then you have to check if you're, having too much of something, you're dehydrated or your heart's not working properly, but usually it should, or stress, okay? What about the temperature? What would be, if it's too high, what should we be concerned about? Fever, so the body is probably trying to fight something off. So you use that to, tell if something is happening. So the next one, blood pressure, that's a big one. So what would be the normal? 120/80. What if it's like between 120 and 129? So it's elevated once it's past 120. What about if it's 130 going up? So it's going too high, and sometimes we need to know this so that, we need to know our norm. So if you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you're hypertensive, you know that maybe something is happening today. But if you have no baseline, then you can't tell them that they're misdiagnosing or anything like that. They'll just put you on some medication. So you have to. Good. So know your baseline. What else? If it's too low, some people are low. They're small and tiny, and their norm is below 100, but they'll tell you that's my norm. All right, so it's important to know your vital signs and monitor them. I know in our community, high blood pressure is a thing, right? And sometimes we don't know. And then in school, they call it the silent killer. So it can just give you a heart attack, and that's it, you're done. My uncle was like that, just died. So you have to monitor it. I know one lady, she was very high, and they gave her medication, and over 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's still the same high. So sometimes you have to make sure that you're monitoring it and not make it go out of control, because then it's hard to come back down. Right? So sometimes there's high cholesterol, that's like blood pumping through your vessels, and there's like plaque, and then it causes more pressure, and that's where your blood pressure is really high. Yeah, so you have babies that are at different age, the blood pressure norm is different. Blood sugar is another big one in our community. So you want to, make sure some people go to the doctor and they do like a glucose test where they will put you on a fast and then check what would be, like if you're normal or borderline or you're diabetic. So you want to, do your regular checkups and get to know, because there's a lot of people who are borderline. So you want to make sure, because diabetes can be very dangerous. You start losing your fingers, your arms, everything. So I know people who have their fingers are all gone and their legs are gone, and so it can get out of control. So monitor your vitals. Prevention is better than cure. So you want to exercise, you want to drink lots of water, you want to be vegetarian like Andre, and what else? Get your sleep. Very important for your heart rate. Okay, so get your sleep. That affects your blood pressure and your heart rate and respiratory. So you want to make sure you always take a breath. Like I'm out of breath right now because I'm nervous. And so you want to make sure that you're exercising, you're breathing, you take deep breath. Like some of us breathe so shallow all the time. And so oxygen goes in and it helps the blood. Like the blood needs oxygen for it to get clean, and so you have to make sure oxygen going in, deep breath, de-stress, I see Michael breathing deep. You don't want to, hyperventilate. But yeah, what else, Andre? Any question? Good, everybody know their vitals now. Yes. Numbness could be from like nerve damage, or even, God forbid, like when you have blood sugar issue, then it can affect your nerves. But it could be anything. So you always want to check with the doctor. Like just go there, get the proper measurement, like have a baseline for everything. So if something happens to you, you can say, yeah, my blood pressure is usually this. My heart rate's usually on the higher side. Or it will help you to be better with your health. Maybe your blood pressure is too high. You want to, check if it's not exercising properly, not eating properly, or overweight. Like figure out what the issue is and fix it before it gets worse. I don't know if it's a vital, but yeah, you can use BMI is body weight and index. Yeah. So yes, so overweight is definitely telling us something. Yes. I see in surgery when they're doing surgery and they have to go in to do stuff, like if there's like a lot of fat over the organs, it takes even such a longer time versus a person who don't have a lot of fat. Easily they go in, they're done, out. But if they have to go through fat and all of that, it takes longer and get more dangerous. And plus your organs, like they get pressured too. Definitely, high overweight can cause, it's a pressure, like the vessels are, pressured, so it gets higher. Oh yeah, I'm considered overweight. The doctor's like, slow it down. I'm like, got it. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, until so now my feet hurt because I'm too heavy. So, you have to like know your body and do what you need to do to stay healthy. Happy? Yes. I have big muscles, but there's fat with it. All right, so stay healthy, and for the new year, we can, make a change, drink more water. A lot of time we're dehydrated, like probably 90% of us are dehydrated. Thank you, very dehydrated. So dehydration can affect your muscles, can affect your bones, so even your height. If you see that you're shrinking or whatever, it means that osteoporosis, it can shrink your bone mass, right? So you have to look at all these things. So stay healthy and listen to Andre.
Thank you, Lenise. You might come next week again. Thank you for your support in this topic. I'm going into the nervous system now, but I want to do a little brain teaser. And I have something to give you if you make it right, okay? So, look at the brain teaser. Think. The brain is very important. So we have 4 cars at the intersection, one coming here. And as I told you, in Canada, once you come at the stop sign, they're very polite here. So the car that comes first goes first. So look at this now. All 4 cars come at the same time. So all 4 cars start to go at the same time. But guess what? There was no collision. What did they do for us to have no collision? Brother Burke, anxious. No, all of them stop. All come at. Everybody's on the right. No, well, look at the scene. All cars are on the right. Okay? Think about it. Don't answer yet. Just think about it. What did these cars do? Phil, you can't answer. Wait. No, wait. Go ahead. No. My sister? Mm. All of them on the right. But the law is that once you're on the right, but all of them is on the right. Yes. All move at the same time. All came at the stop sign at the same time, and all move at the same time. But there was, listen to the question, but there was no collision. What did they do? You see, wait 1 minute. You're answering me, but you're not thinking. I want you to think first. Yes, but all of them move at the same time. Come, Dean, think. No, tell me. No, yes? Yes. Which direction? No. If all go left, they will crash. All go right. So this is at right, he go right, he go right, he go right, he go right. That's it. But no one get it. Hmm? Yes? But what I'm saying is that uh, this car could say the same thing about you because you're on the right also. So for this tricky one, Lenny's, all turn right. All right, let me give you a Bible brain teaser now. Turn your Bible to Revelation 12. Revelation 12. It's just critical thinking. Revelation 12. Are you there with me? Yes, are you there with me? Read from verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So we have 3 things here. We have the woman, we have the dragon. So the woman and the dragon. So the dragon's tail drew what? Of the? All right. What's the dragon? What's the woman? What's the stars? What's the tail? No. No. Hello? Yes. Yes. I could give, if you get the answer right, I give you my apple. All right. Isaiah 9, verse 15. The ancient and honorable, he is the head. And the prophet that teacheth lie, he is the tail. Very good. Give him my apple, Lenny. Lie. So let us put it together now. So the dragon is Satan, and Satan's tail drew the angels. So Satan used lie to deceive the angels in heaven. Verse 15. It's critical thinking. You see, the Bible is simple, you know, the Bible explains itself, but sometimes we don't allow our mind to think. I'll give you one more before we move on. One more before we move on. Go to Revelation. Revelation 22. Um, 16. Yeah, Revelation 22, verse 16. Are you there? Go ahead. So Jesus said he is the what? Root and the of who? So Jesus said he is the root, and he says also he is the of who? David. So if Jesus is the root of David, what is he saying? That's where who came from? No. So if Jesus is saying he is the root, correct. So who is the root? So Jesus said he is the root of, and also the, what you thinking now, you know? So we have a tree here, okay? We have a tree, and we have the root. And from this tree, we have a branch, and it bear a fruit. So this fruit is a what of the tree? Offspring. So which come first, the offspring or the root? So is David the offspring or David the root? David is the offspring? David is also a offspring, but David is not the root. David is in the lineage right here. So Jesus is simply saying, I was before David, I'm also after David. You get it? That's why he's the offspring. But when he said he's the root of David, meaning he was before David. When he's saying he's the offspring of David, he's also after David. You understand. That is why when Jesus said before Abraham was, I am. And they could not understand him. They say, you're just 50. You are just 30. And oh, you say that. You're not even 50. And you saw Abraham? So spiritual things are? But you got to put your brain and think. Okay? So we've got to use up this brain. Let us look on the nervous system. Phil? One before that, Phil. There was a slide before that? Yes. All right, can you see the screen? You want to give me the lights up there off? No, yes. And probably the back one there. I don't know. So this is the nervous system. You can't see these words so clearly, but we have different parts of the nervous system. As we go on, we're going to get more information. But it's a very wonderful system. It's a very technical system. And even now, they still can't have full comprehension. Right there. 1 minute on. All right, so the brain. So we have different parts of the brain. The brain is a part of the nervous system. Is the mind a part of the nervous system? Yes. All right, so this is it. The mind is not an organ. Okay? So the mind is not an organ. The brain is an organ. All right? That's a chemistry right there. All right. So we have different parts of the brain. We have the frontal lobe. And because of the writing, I can't see all the different parts. But this is the central nervous system, CNS, the central nervous system. We're there with the brain, and we're going to see the spinal cord also, which is a part of the central nervous system. So we have the frontal lobe. So right here is where we have the frontal lobe of the, you can look forward. I'm looking that way, so you can look forward. All right, so we have the frontal lobe, which is a part of, the brain is just so, do you know how powerful a computer is? What made the computer? So you can imagine the brain. It's even more complicated than the computer. A quarter of our brain, we're not even using. That's why I'm saying critical thinking, Bridget. Before you say anything, think. All right, just think. So we have the frontal lobe. All right, we have the parietal lobe. That's around here, okay? So we have different lobes. Have you ever seen a brain? You know, I was driving one night. A young man was on a truck before me, and he fell off the truck, and something ran. The same truck ran over him, and I saw his brain mashed right out there. Have you know walnut? Walnut is like, that's how the brain kind of look. Yes. So this brain here, there's a skull cap on it. Doctors, I give respect to doctors. I tell you, they're good. Some, all right. They can take your skull off. So God give a protection of the brain here. So when you take off the brain, you see the flesh right there. All right? So we have the parietal lobe. We have the occipital lobe, which is right around here. Okay? Right around here. And all these parts serve different purpose. When I move my right hand, which part of the brain work? The left side. That's how God is amazing. All right? We have the temporal lobe. All right? Right there. See the picture giving us the different color to see where that lobe is. Then we have the cerebellum, which is right at the extreme back, right there. Cerebellum. All right? Then we have the brainstem. The brainstem is connected to what? Spinal cord. All right? So the brainstem is connected to the spinal cord. All right. We hope you enjoy using your brain to learn about your brain. Every part of the brain serves a different purpose, which is why it is important for them to work effectively together. Damage to even just one lobe can lead to decrease in performance and ability to perform certain tasks. And that is why we have certain type of person, Down syndrome and whatever. You understand? So it is very important that everyone functions. So this is the spinal cord now. So we have the brain there, and then the spinal cord now is connected to the brain. So information leave the brain to the spinal cord, and from the spinal cord to the different nerves. Send off. And you see how quick the information have to go? That's why it have to come into electric form. So we have to eat the right food. We have the cervical, we have the thoracic, we have the lumbar, we have the sacral, and we have the coccygeal. All right. All right, so the spinal cord comprises three parts. The cervical, which is the neck, the thoracic, which is the chest, thoracic, which is the chest, and the lumbar, which is the lower back region. We have three layers of tissue protect the spinal cord, the dura mater and the arachnoid mater and the pia mater. Thank you. So the spinal cord lies inside the spinal column, which is made up of 33 bones called vertebrae. 5 vertebrae are fused together to form the sacrum, which is a part of the pelvis. And 4 small vertebrae are fused together to form the coccyx, which is the tailbone. All right. This screen is showing better up here. Why the tailbone? I don't know why they give it that name. All right. So it is conventional, however, to describe nerve types on the basis of their function. Motor sensory, autonomic, or cranial. Motor nerves, sensory nerves, autonomic nerves, and cranial nerves. So in our bodies, some things does function automatically. Meaning, if the heart was to depend upon us for it to function, probably we would have died. God set it so it just function automatically. So it's just like on the street, we have some street light. They have some sensor on the lights. So when it is dusk, there's some lights they call it from dusk to dawn. So once it gets a bit dark, the light do what? Comes on automatically. Because can you imagine so much street light and somebody have to go and turn them all on? So they just happen naturally. So that is why God make our eyelash right here. Once something come near, it automatically as a protection. So some things just happen naturally in our system. That's how God make it. Nerve pain, also called neuralgia or neuropathic pain, occurs when a health condition affects the nerves that carry sensation to the brain. It is a particular type of pain that feels different from other kinds of pain. Have you ever felt nerve pain? Different areas of the body. Just like if you get a cut. A simple cut does affect you, don't? Simple cut. And that's how I say, oh, God make our body, it is unique. That even a fingernail damage, it affects you. Why? Because it's affecting one of the nerve ending. Yes. That's right. That's right. And that's how God made the body. Ever notice you get a cut and the body just heal itself? That's how God made the body. When it is too detrimental, then you have to go to the doctor and do certain surgery. But God made the body that it do its own stitches. Yeah. But you have to give the body the right type of food for it to work the right way. Nerve cells generate electrical signals that transmit information. Although neurons are not intrinsically good conductors of electricity, they have evolved elaborate mechanism for generating electrical signal based on the flow of ions across their plasma membrane. What are parts of the PNS? The peripheral nervous system is divided into two main parts. The autonomic nervous system, ANS, controls involuntary bodily function and regulates glands. Somatic nervous system, SNS, controls muscle movement and relays information from ears, eyes, and skin to central nervous system. So what this is simply saying is that I move my hand, I choose to move it, okay? This is done. I have to do this. But the heart moving, that's done naturally, involuntarily. Okay? So that's how God made the different system for them to work. So interaction with other organs. The central nervous system interact with every other organs in the body. So the central nervous system have to work with the lungs, it have to work with the pancreas, it have to work with the liver, it have to work with the kidney, it have to work with the eye. Every other part of the body is dependent upon the central nervous system. Because it is the and it is just, and guess what? There's no accident in the body. They know the blood vessels run along with the central nervous system, and they know where the blood know where it's going. The brain sends the signal to the heart because the central nervous system is connected to the heart. If there's no current to the heart, it's a pump, it can't beat. So the fight or flight. You ever heard about that? Fight or flight. You ever heard about that? So a dog attack you, you're either fight or flee. That's when it's a flight. Take a fly. So it's the central nervous system tell you what to do, okay? And because of that happen, the signal sent to the heart and the heart start to beat. So it's either fight or flight. And that is why fright can do what? Kill you. Yeah. Fright can kill you. It shock you. Give you a heart attack. Yeah. So the brain nerves which communicate with the entire system are the only medium through which event can communicate to man and affect his inmost life. Whatever disturbs the circulation of the electric currents in the nervous system lessen the strength of the vital power, and the result is a deadening of the sensibilities of the mind. This is from Counsels to the Church. So God communicates to us through the brain, the central nervous system. But how many avenues we have to the brain? How many avenues do we have to the brain? How many avenues do we have to the brain? 1? 5. Or 5 senses. So Satan can't, he don't know what's in our mind, but he can read us through our senses. And through our senses, God communicates to us also. So we have to guard well the avenues to our soul. So we have to be careful. Watch your eyes, what you don't see. So we have to guard well the senses. So you have to be careful what you look on. It affects your brain. By beholding they become. Be careful what you touch. It affects your brain. Be careful what you. It affects your. Don't eat. All right. The relation that exists between the mind and the body is very intimate. When one is affected, the other sympathizes. The condition of the mind affects the health to a far or greater degree than many realize. Many of the diseases from which men suffer are the result of mental depression, grief, anxiety, discontent, remorse, guilt, distrust. All tend to break down the life forces and to invite decay and death. Disease is sometimes produced and is often greatly aggravated by the imagination. Many are lifelong invalids who might be well if they only thought so. Many imagine that every slight exposure will cause illness, and the evil effect is produced because it is expected. Many die from disease, the cause of which is wholly imaginary. Many of us are sick because of our mind. We're not sick. We just tell ourselves, you're sick. Just think, come in, my sister. So this is what the media did with the pandemic situation. We just use the media to drive fear. I'm telling you, if I never know God, it would have come close to me. I'm telling you. Yes, it's come close to me. So I don't listen to the news. Because it's going to drive this fear in you. It's going to cause, if you're sick. You go to the doctor, and the doctor says you're sick, but nothing is wrong with you because you tell yourself that you're sick. You have that power. She has that power to control it. Some don't. My sister, go ahead. All right, it's in the presentation. I'm going there. But I can tell you, coconut is one. Coconut is very electrolyte. All right, very good question. Coconut water. Coconut itself also. Tuna is very good also. Tuna? Not tuna. Not tuna sardine. Not the fish. Tuna, the leaf. Tuna, plant. No, it's not aloe vera. It's in the family of aloe vera. No, it's not. Leaf of life is good also. Very good, very electrolyte. Very good, very good. All right, very good food. I at least have Irish mash once per week. It's very good. I have it at least once or twice per week. Make my punch with Irish moss. Irish moss is very good. No, what I do, I make a jar of Irish moss and keep it in the fridge, and then it can become jelly and thick. I just cut it, slice it, and make it in a punch. Some person can eat it. You can make it sweet with honey, and you can eat it as a dessert, a jelly. Yeah, they have that. No, the sarsaparilla. If you notice the sarsaparilla, it's like a neuron vine. Yeah. So based on how the food look, it can tell you what it's good for. Yes. Irish moss. I get the water warm, put it in the warm water, cover it, and it just swell. And that's it. No, because if you're going to boil it, you're going to get rid of the nutrients. Some person does soak it in water and blend it, and it's good same way. But I just use the warm water, cover it, and let it stay. It's still good for you. Yeah.
I heard that some people grow it at their house. They don't really, is that the real one from
No, that's not the real one from the sea. You have to get the real one from the sea. Yeah. Yeah, the false one. Yeah, but the Irish moss is very rich in mineral. Very rich. It's good for iodine. No, you're not going to drink so much one time, so you just keep it in your fridge and use it proportionately. Or just make just enough for one day or one time, if you want. Yes, linseed is very good. You mix it with the linseed also. No, not the Irish mash in the tin. Very good question, because many persons will think they go to the shop and buy an Irish mash. Not that one. That's the one that. Yeah, sea moss I'm talking. I have some in my vehicle there, and I should have taken and show you. So that one, you just boil it. Not really boil it. Just put it in the warm water and let it swell. It's very rich and good. Yes. But you have to get the good source one, okay? Yeah, my friend got mine from St. Lucia. But any Caribbean island, yeah, from the sea, Melly. All right. Courage, hope, faith, sympathy. All right. Let me see here. All right, so we have 15 more minutes. I will have to continue this presentation. It's 5 o'clock now. I'm going to stop 5:15, okay? So we have 15 more minutes. So I'm not going to try to finish it. Wherever I stop, just remind me. So, courage. Can you see that word? You can't see it?
Yeah. Courage, hope, faith.
Okay. So, courage, hope, faith, sympathy, love, promote what? And prolong life. A contented, a cheerful, is health to the body and strength to the. A merry heart rejoiceth. All right, do it good like a. So one of the laws of health, remember when we go to the laws of health, one of the laws of health is happiness. If you have nothing to laugh about, still laugh about something. Yes. Smile, help the face muscle. Just find something to be happy about. There's so much thing for us not to be happy. Find something to be happy. It's a stressful world. So a merry heart, do it good like a medicine. So if you have a sad countenance and everything offend you, it's going to affect your organs. So try to think about courage. Be hopeful. Be strong. I'm not sick. Okay? Be positive. Be positive. 1 Peter 1 verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your. What is it that you need to gird up originally? Not the mind. What is it that we need to gird up? Loins. Put the pants at your waist. Pull up your pants. So, see how the Bible using the analogy now? So just like how you pull up your pants with your belt, you're going to use the belt to gird up your what? The loins. But you're going to now pull up your what? Pull up your mind. Brethren, our mind is too lousy. The Bible is simply saying, wherefore gird up or pull up the loins of your mind. Be sober and hope to the what? For the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Guarding the soul's avenues, the apostle sought to teach the believers how important it is to keep the mind from wandering to what? Forbidden themes, or from spending its energies on trifling subjects. Those who would not fall a prey to Satan's devices must guard well the avenues. They must avoid that which will suggest impure thoughts. How many avenues to the soul there? No. How many you just read? No. So how many avenues to the soul there? Think about it. Look. No. What they used to read? So that is one avenue. Isn't that so? What they used to hear? So how many avenues that down? Okay, so must guard well the avenues to the soul. They must avoid reading, which you use your eye, seeing, which is your eye, or hearing. Okay? So only two was touched right there. So be careful what you see. You ever go to your bed and dream some stuff? It depends on what you saw in the day, you know. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes. Yeah. Have you ever done castle building? Anyone ever do castle building? No, some person still do it. Castle building, you just imagine that, oh, I'm living in this fancy house and I have this big car and you just have, no, that's what I'm talking. You're sitting down and you're having a castle dream. Just imagine, this is the type of husband I want, this is the type of wife I want, this is the car I want, and you think about this and you want the bedroom to be like that. And no, man, come on, man. Man, do it to man. Man, think. Oh, you want a Clarks or you want a Mercedes or whatever. You understand? Sometimes we allow the mind to let loose. That's what the Bible is saying here. Gird up the mind. Yeah. Your mind is running too far. Impure thoughts. You understand? Yeah. So, for the weapons of our warfare is not carnal, but mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds and casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. If some of us thoughts should be printed on the wall, you wouldn't like it. Would you like it? And that is why I love Jesus, because he knows the secret of our mind, but he doesn't reveal it. Thank God for that. All right?
Sometimes if we believe that Jesus is seeing our thoughts, then we wouldn't think the things we think sometimes.
That's right. That's right. And that is why we have to practice, because let me tell you, Bridget, it's not easy to keep the mind focused, you know. All right? So, are you ready for this? All right, so, men, do you look astray? You don't have to answer. Men, do you look astray? You don't have to answer. Are you not a man? Wait. Women, do you look astray? Yes. Don't have to answer. So men look astray and women look astray. And sometimes it's not easy. So this is what you have to do now. You have to put on the blinds. Horse, you know horse? When they're racing, they put what on them? Because they want them to. I'm looking in front of me, but right here, I can see that screen. I can, very good. So I like that. In the driving the car or the truck, you have some spot called blind spot. Let me tell you, I miss so much accident because of the grace of God. Because sometimes some car is at my blind spot, and when I'm about to go over, the Spirit just tell me that they are there, and I saw them. Because they are in my blind spot. Okay? So when you see, something you don't want to see or you should not see, and you're driving, keep focus. Because you can't tell some person how to operate on the road or to dress. So just keep focus. Keep focus. Yes. And you know what I'm talking. All right. Give me the full screen, Phil. So this is from 2 Corinthians. I think I just quoted. For the weapons of our warfare are not, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, and casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Jesus can only help us with our consent. God wishes us to have the mastery over ourselves, but he cannot help us without our what? Consent and cooperation. The divine spirit works through the powers and faculties given to man. Of course, we are not able to bring the purposes and desires and inclinations into harmony with the will of God. But if we are willing to be made willing, the Savior will accomplish this for us, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So whatever struggle we are struggling with, brethren, just say, Jesus, help me to be willing to be made willing. It's not easy, but if you ask him to help you to be willing to be made willing, so you're going to ask him to help you to force you against your will. Because it's not in me to do good. Yes, I think Paul talked about it. Yes. So you go out on the road and you see this box. You just kick the box. When you open the box, it's full of money. But you see somebody's name and address. What should you do? Go with it, or if you don't see the name, you can't do nothing. Yeah, if you don't see the name. But if you see a name and address, belong to somebody. So you have to be honest enough to take it back. Yeah, take it to the person. All right, so we have 5 minutes going down. Think on these things. Philippians 4 verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So we have to be careful, brethren, what we think on. So if it is pure, we must think on it. Go ahead.
Is it true that when a person sits down, most of the time they're shaking their legs, is it a nervous system, is it a nervous breakdown causing them to be shaking their legs?
Yeah, it can be nerve issues. Or a bad habit, yeah. But it can be nerve issues. Okay. All right, so we're gonna close off right here. So we stop right at Philippians 4 verse 8. Very good. So we stop at Philippians 4 verse 8, and Nisha screenshot it. Thank you for coming to our study. Thank you for viewing us online. As we close off now, we continue next week. Father, we thank you for this body. Thank you for making it so awesome that it can function properly. Whatever illness or ailment we have, we ask that you may teach us how to restore it. Take us to a different abode now and guide our thoughts and our mind that we may keep it stayed on thee. Let this mind be in us, which was also in Christ Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, thank you all for coming. Please have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week.